like a category that lends itself to broad retail investor appeal, and it's something that an average retail investor could probably easily get excited about. There's also been some of these names, Tilray in particular, that's had a relatively high short interest, over about 20%. And so if that's something that's in the crosshairs of some of these guys, then that would fit the bill as well.
When you take a look at Tilray, though, for instance, it's at almost $57 a share right now, Michael. Is there a fundamental argument for it being at $57 a share or higher?
Well, it's raced past our target of $15, which we think is
15, 1-5, just to underscore that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And certainly there's always some wiggle room and adjustments you can make around how you think about it. But I think the real issue is that there's excitement about what appears to be likely change in U.S. federal law around cannabis, but it's being devoted to the affection for that's been going to these Canadian operators who don't have any presence in the U.S. I think that's probably primarily because they're U.S. listed on the NYSE or NASDAQ, and so they're readily available and investable. But if law were to change, they wouldn't have a U.S. business overnight. They would simply even perhaps have the chance to enter the U.S. It would depend on what laws change and by how much and what the structure is. And then, of course, there's incumbents in the U.S. market already that are the ones that are already here.
Based on the STRs that we've seen most recently, Michael, which stocks, in your view, are the most overvalued?
It's, a little bit different for each one, but we looked at Canopy last week and actually downgraded that to neutral on a valuation call, simply because we saw our 12 times EV to revenues multiple for our target. It is partly capturing some of the U.S. opportunity. They are among the Canadians rather unique because they have a conditional deal upon federal permissibility to take over Acreage, one of the U.S. operators. And yet the stock was trading at 20 or more times EV to sales for 2022, just more than accounting for what could come from some of these U.S. opportunities that we do have visibility on. So they're not alone, but that's one where we said, look, I think there's some retail hype here, could keep pushing it further, and it has apparently. But then on a fundamental basis, we can't stretch our target above where its current trading value was.